Okay, so I was in a toxic relationship and I knew it was toxic, but I didn't know it would turn like scary until this one night. Story time. So my boyfriend lived in the middle of nowhere, Canada, in a cabin in like the woods, which should have been my first red flag, but it wasn't. So I was staying with him in May, and one night he wanted to go to bed and I wanted to stay on the couch and watch TV. So he goes to his room, and then like 20 minutes later, I hear him yelling and throwing things around in his room. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? When I saw him, it was the weirdest look in his eyes. It was like my boyfriend was gone and he was possessed by this angry monster guy. He was like, why don't you want to come to bed with me? Why don't you care about me? You're so cold all the time. You don't even love me. And I was like, what? Like, I really had no idea what I had done that triggered this, because he did have anger issues and he would get mad at me a lot, but usually I could like figure out why he was mad. And this time I was shocked. So I was like, I don't know, what's wrong though? And he picks up my suitcase and he throws it across the room and he's like, it's just you, you're so cold, you're gonna move to LA, never talk to me again. So it was around 1 a.m. at this point, and he was picking up my suitcase and pushing it around the room and saying that he wanted to take me to the airport and drop me off there because I was gonna leave him anyway. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Please take me to the airport. And at that point, I knew being in like a public place was safer than being alone in this cabin with him. So I picked up whatever I saw like that I could find of my clothes that he had thrown, put them in my suitcase, and then I let him put me in his car. And then he starts, oh my God, it was the middle of the night and he couldn't see anything on the road, and he was speeding and swerving around in the lanes and playing like the weirdest sad music and crying and yelling while he was driving. So at this point, I didn't know if I was gonna make it. Like, I didn't know what he wanted to do in the car, like, because he was acting so irrational. So I decided to text my roommate, and I told her his car info and like the license plate and where I was. And I grabbed the handle and I was like, I guess I looked too scared, and he saw me texting my roommate and he was like, oh my God, you're telling your friends that I'm abusive, aren't you? Like, you're gonna tell them I'm abusive. And I was like, no, I'm not. I promise, I won't tell anyone. I won't tell my family. I won't tell anyone. And then he does like a huge U-turn. So he does a U-turn in the middle of the road, and he takes me back to his house and he told me to get in his room and like stay in his bed. That way I couldn't tell my family that he left me at the airport or something. And that was the most terrifying night of my entire, I literally stared at the ceiling the entire time because I heard him pacing outside of his door. And I locked it, but I didn't know if he was gonna come in at any moment and what he was gonna do to me. This might be TMI, but I had to pee really bad and I couldn't use the bathroom though because he was outside of his door and I was scared of him. So I held it all night long and I didn't sleep. And then in the morning I had a UTI. And he had to take me to the doctor, and he said he loved me enough to make sure that my health was okay, even though I was so cold to him. So yeah.